Respected organizers, sponsors, professors, and dear colleagues. Me, Ramesh, Poudel, and Wipawee, we have done our capstone project on governance of blockchain community on a Swiss blockchain-based metadata protection company called HOPR. So this research paper should be able to, make informed decision on what kind of, decision rights and models of participation could be used in the Hopper DAO to coexist with their existing techno-legal governance framework, decent gov. Basically, the main purpose uh, of this research is to know what kind of voting system or democratic system is better for the Hopper DAO. The research methods we used here are the expert interviews for the primary research, and for the secondary research we use literature reviews, right? So what is blockchain? Blockchain is a decentralized peer-to-peer ledger that records transactions, right? Validated by a network peers into blocks and linked together by cryptography into the blockchain, bypassing intermediaries. Right now, let's talk about blockchain governance. Blockchain governance is basically is the governance of the blockchain to deal with all the actions in the decision-making process that involves creating, updating, and terminating rules of the system by methods of having votes on proposals, right? Now, what are DAOs? DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations. These are virtual entities that operate through smart contracts, which automatically, enforce predefined rules, removing the need for, central governing body. That's why they're called decentralized and autonomous, right? So, uh, so talking about the frameworks, right? We use the blockchain governance framework, by dissecting into layers and life cycle stages of blockchain, and these are, analyzed against the case study, right? And we also use IT governance framework aligned with key governance areas of blockchain named, decision rights, accountability, accountabilities and incentives. Decision rights are, basically concerned with the right, somebody to able to govern control, and accountability deals with, the degree, the actors can be held accountable for their actions, and incentive addresses what motivates actors to, take actions, right? So research findings, what are the research findings we found where blockchain governance varies by types. One is permissionless and the permission, and it also they also vary by blockchain governance. Also varies by layers, by infrastructure, application, community, and institution, and also by life cycle stages, which are design, operation, and involvement and crisis, right? So let me explain permissionless, blockchain. They are a blockchain that have open network, and any participants can, enter into the network after their transaction has been validated by the current participants. And the examples are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the permission blockchain are the blockchain that needs permission to become part of the network, and the owner of the network dictates who can or cannot join the network, right? And the examples are Hyperledger, Fabric, R3, and the Corda. And let's talk about the, where the Hopper, lies on this governance, mechanism, compared to the layers and the stages. It lies on the operation stage, on the application layer, interwoven with the infrastructure and community in the operation stage. And now also let's talk about the key challenges that Hopper or the blockchain governance, have. Um, Challenge number one is low participation in decision-making process, and that can be, removed by having a protocol to increase participation, which is called holographic consensus. Holographic consensus is very interesting that their tokens are used as incentives. First to monetize voters' attention in voting, and then second to monetize boosting to transition a proposal from an absolute to relative majority approval condition. Then these are thrown out to the open market. for staking and predicting outcomes. And finally, there's these are good these are filtered good quality proposals for voting. And holographic consensus, they are more focused, less time resources consuming and higher participation. And the best example is a DAO stack, right? And the challenge number two would be result manipulation by the fake voters, right? So how can it be removed? Is by having a protocol to prevent fake voters, proof of personhood, right? And what it does is link virtual and physical identities to verify real people in a gathering. For example, pseudonym party, and it also balances accountability and anonymity, right? The best practice are Adena Network, Bright ID, and the Gitcoin. The challenge number three is result domination by large asset holders, and how can be removed by having a voting system to prevent collusion or domination by the wealthy. For example, having a quadratic voting and commitment voting, right? So what is quadratic voting? Quadratic voting is a consensus mechanism that avoids the autocracy of the majority. If a participant has a strong preference for, or against a political proposal, additional votes can be allocated, but it has a cost on it, right? It has and it becomes quadratically more expensive. And commitment voting is a type of time-weighted, voting. Commitment voting, is vote weight equals token quantity times staking locking a period, and quadratic voting is cost to the voter equals number of votes squared, right? Best practice is Gitcoin. And with that, implication of this project is for to have suitable and evolving governance schemes, we need robust operation, right, and long-term viability of blockchain community. With that, it concludes my presentation. Thank you.